Thank God it's Friday. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello. How you doing? Dr.
The popular ladies with you.
Before we start greeting you, we have to really thank Cream Slices for this beautiful anniversary cake they sent to us. So we're supposed to celebrate our anniversary this whole week, but we had to move it because the inauguration had drowned all our celebrations. So we said, no, we'll give the inauguration this week. Next week, we'll now focus on TV on your views 10th year anniversary. But thanks to Cream Slices for sending us this cake. Thank you so much. It's a beautiful cake. God bless you.
Cake is beautiful, yeah.
They always show up for us.
Yes.
Cream Slices always show up.
And they make the most delicious cakes.
Yeah, it's really good. How you doing, BC?
I'm all right. I'm just not feeling myself. Yeah, it's that time of the month where you bite people, you scratch people, you fight with people.
Me too.
But I didn't see anybody to bite, scratch, and fight. I was just focused on, I was having cravings, actually.
I cover myself with the blood of Jesus.
So I was just craving till midnight yesterday. I was eating. I wanted ice cream really bad, but they had finished it. I didn't know. So I ended up with suya, the fried eggs for me. I ain't not going to work tomorrow. Why are you still eating by 10? That's unlike you. But it just sort of calmed me down. Right. Before God came back, I was like, he didn't know anything had happened because he would have been the one to collect the blow and the fight. But I think I feel a bit better. I'm happy this is the weekend. I'll just rest.
And discovering this unsweetened yogurt, honestly, I just pray nobody will come home research tomorrow and tell me it's bad for my health because I have been having quite a bit of it and I've been enjoying. I fall in love with it. I do it with some ginger in there. I put some raisins sometimes. I put some cashew nuts. I put some some chia seed, flax seed, the whole works. So I'm having a ball.
Enjoy
this. Nobody should come and say tomorrow that yogurt has one cancer in future. I will not find it funny.
Just like our suya. Remember when they tried to tell us suya had issues?
Yes, now.
Leave it like that. Eat suya.
How you doing, Mario?
I'm fine, thank you. I had a friend come in, but we were not able to see because the day we were meant to see was when the queues and she was trying to get an Uber. She had spent hours. She couldn't get it.
Abroad?
Yes. Well, she's leaving today with her family. Her daughter's name is Murayo. And she had some gist to tell us. I said I was going to share this gist on TV. So Murayo, sorry. So Murayo is a young girl, she's about to get into, I think she's in university. And she said that since she got into Nigeria, she's been getting lots of male attention, which she does not get in the abroad. She's like, Mommy, I'm a fine girl. Everywhere I go, everybody sees it. Said, yeah, so that's how it happens. That's why we bring you home, so you know how fine you are.
Because abroad, there are too many people.
Yes.
You just get over here, you're own Nigeria to see you. Fantastic, good. So, what am I doing today? It's one of those days also. Nothing major happening, just planning for my events coming up. It's June already.
Yes,
so my event is in about 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It's less than 3 weeks' time, and trying to get as many people, have a lot of last-minute stuff I'm doing. But I'm pretty excited. I'm going to the hall today to talk with the decorator, sort out where stuff is going to be. Yeah, pretty excited. I wanted to just finish May, but now we're in June and focused.
Full.
Okay, let's go on a quick break. When we return, look at the front pages of the paper. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Okay, let's start with the nation. Tinubu orders centralized security coordination. Kyari subsidy removed to stop Nigeria from bankruptcy. Obey APC zoning, non-serving senators tell Kalu and Yari. Tribunal wants uncoordinated OBLP against wasting time. EFCC quizzes Fayemi for allegedly laundering 4 billion naira. Why federal government workers' May salary is delayed. Okay, which story are we starting with the nation?
Okay, let me start with major headline. So we had the CEO for NMPCL, that's Mr. Mele Kyari. He had gone to visit. He had gone to visit with at the National Secretariat of APC, and he sat down with the legislators there and give an update on this petrol situation, fuel situation. So we know that just the day before he had given us a pricing template where the prices of fuel had risen from 185 naira per litre to between 488 and 577 naira per litre. But he was also explaining that taking away the subsidy was the right thing to do because as a country, if we hadn't done that, we would go into bankruptcy. We do not have the money to fund subsidy anymore. He even said that, in fact, the federal government is still owing NMPCL 2.8 trillion naira as we speak. And he also goes to show that many questions were asked of him and, the impact of this on regular Nigerians. And he says he admits that the masses would suffer some hardship, but he believes it's only for a short amount of time. Or in due course, it will fizzle out and, it will be much easier. But he says, to be honest, subsidy really is the people who enjoy it are mostly, like the elite. Are the main beneficiaries of the subsidy itself. It says that if you look at consumption, it is skewed towards Abuja. That's the highest consumption skewed towards Abuja, Port Harcourt, Lagos, and Kano. Most people in these areas have at least 2 cars. And for every time we get, he says, for every 3 liters, we get 100 naira subsidy. And so even the masses themselves, the rest, we get about 38% of the distribution, and then the rest goes into the other parts of Nigeria where the consumption is not as high as these particular places. So he just says that this is the best thing to do because we can't afford it. But he was also asked about the Ngote refinery, which he says that's a welcome idea, but it would not be able to take care of 100% of our demands right away. It will eventually get there, but not right away. And they're hoping that in July, August, we would see the refinery start producing.
Okay. July, August. Wow, that's a long time.
No, the country is still owing. So the money that they are saving, they're still going to be owing paying that money. Let me take the update from the tribunal because many Nigerians are really would like to know what's going on during the presidential election petition court. So yesterday, the Labour Party and the lawyers were asked to postpone, to request for its postponement because they seem to have been wasting time. According to the presiding judge, Haruna Samani, he was saying that they had delayed for about 40 minutes. The lawyers could not coordinate themselves, their activities for a seamless proceeding. So he said, you know what, if you guys cannot organize yourself, please let us postpone it. But if you recall, the lawyer for the LP, Awa Kalu, had initially requested for an extra requested for the postponement because 2 of their witnesses, I think yesterday or 2 days ago, fell ill. So he said they cannot allow another postponement, that they will wait to finish up and then be able to start the procedure. However, the day started off a bit funny because both councils for the INEC and the Labour Party were going back and forth on procedural documentation. And things just kind of started rough, but eventually the proceedings started, and we'll continue to monitor how that goes because Nigerians really want to know the fallout of the election tribunal that is ongoing.
Yeah, so President Bola Tinubu yesterday directed service chiefs and heads of security intelligence agencies to crush perpetrators of all thefts, saying his administration will not tolerate the menace. So he said that on his watch, insecurity will not bring Nigeria to her knees while other countries record achievements in key sectors of the economy. So this, he gave the directive during the maiden official meeting with service chiefs, intelligence heads, led by Chief of Defense Staff General Lucky Irabo at the presidential villa in Abuja. And afterwards, they had to address journalists saying that they are trying to, he's going to be giving them a blueprint to tackle insecurity and maintain sanity nationwide. They said the meeting lasted for about 2 hours. This was the first meeting he was having with the service chiefs. He also said that he, not under his watch will he accept, you know, all thefts, and he wants every security agencies to work in synergy. They must work together so that they achieve a common goal. He will not tolerate, you know, any of their disagreements and, you know, fights all around, because we must be working together. And once we can sort out the issue of insecurity, that will also affect our growth in the economy.
Okay, let's move on to the Punch. Dangote, Port Harcourt refineries, others won't change fuel prices, NNPCL. And oil theft, insecurity president orders service chiefs. New tenants flee with neighbors' 2 children in Abuja. Operators kick as maritime workers shut port on Monday. Beavers manipulated in over 20 Kogi polls. Naira trades 461 to the dollar at investors' window. CBN denies devaluation. USSD telcos issue banks disconnection notice. And EFCC grills Fayemi over alleged 4 billion naira money laundering. Okay, which story?
The human interest story. So 2 children were recently abducted at Bako area, Kwali Area Council in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. And, you know, they said, according to the story, 2 ladies who were tenants, new tenants of a particular area, just came to that area barely 2 weeks, and they had already started buying gifts for the children in the compound. Only for, on that particular day, the mother was praying and the last born was crying. So she now came with the guise of, let me buy biscuits for her so that she will not disturb you from the prayers, and took the little girl with the elder sister and disappeared. They looked and looked, searched. There were 2 ladies who came into the building. By the time they broke into their door, they realized that they didn't even have any properties inside. So it was well planned and orchestrated. The father, who was a security guard, was so upset, said he had been warning, you know, the mom about these new people that have been buying things for the children. But because of the nature of his job, he was away most of the time and he wasn't able to. And it was just painful. Yeah, it's terrible.
2 children.
Terrible.
Really sad. You have another story in Punch?
Yes, I do. So this is between telcos and banks. So according to telcos, banks owe them 120 billion naira for using their USSD infrastructure for financial services. And so they've given a notice of disconnection. The telco says that, then the telcos are saying, you know, the contract between them and between them on the use of USSD for banking transaction is strictly commercial, and they are at liberty to withdraw their services if it is established that the transaction is not profitable to them. That's what they're saying. So telcos are saying, well, the duration of the notice is dependent on some terms of agreement. That means the disconnection is a function of if they respond with payment. If they respond with payment, we won't see disconnections. But if they don't, we'll start disconnections over the next days or weeks or months. They said since 2019, banks and telcos have been at loggerheads over who should pay for USSD services. Telcos stated that banks were owing them 32 billion for using USSD to offer financial services. As we all know, many Nigerians, that's how, especially those without smartphones,
that's the fastest way
to make transfers and do our financial transactions. Anyway, so we would hear what they do eventually. And I think this is going to be a huge, it will have a huge impact
on the consumers.
We're complaining about fuel subsidy removal, then we see that we're unable to do some transactions. And for me, the attitude of the banks is almost, well, take it if you want, take it if you don't. We'll still have our customers.
All right, we have to go on a break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Moving on now to Daily Sun. Tinubu talks tough to service chiefs. OBLP tender results different from INEX for Rivers, Benue, and 4 others. IGP approves promotion of 31,465 personnel. RNY youth plead with Yari to concede Senate presidency to Kalu. Maritime workers begin strike on Monday. 4 billion naira alleged fraud. EFCC detains, grills ex-Ekiti Governor Fayemi. Subsidy, reps seek forensic audit of 413 billion naira CBN loan. And Mba outlaws Monday's sit-at-home in Enugu. Okay, let me start with the issue of cost of governance. So the former governor of Kano State, the senator representing Kano Central, Ibrahim Shekarau, has said that was speaking to the president, saying that she should have the political will to reduce the cost of governance by collapsing the National Assembly into one chamber. He said we just need one. We don't need to, left to me, we don't need to have 2 chambers in the 2 houses. According to him, it's costing the country quite a bit of having almost 500 legislators nationwide. He said, I don't think we need this much at the moment. He's saying that he urged further of cutting numbers of parastatals would affect the number of oversight assignments, reducing the burden on the nation. Then you discover that legislative, he also said that he has been subscribing to the idea of devolution of powers, which most Nigerians agree. The federal government should really cut its own costs by devolving a lot of responsibilities down to the line to local governments. And these are things Nigerians have always said and discussed. But he is saying that we should have just one chamber instead of multiple chambers. Okay.
Okay, so maritime workers under the aegis of Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria, MWUN, are threatening to shut down post operations indefinitely from Monday, June 5th, 2023. They had a press briefing yesterday and they directed all their members to shut down operations of shipping companies and begin an indefinite nationwide strike from Monday. And this is as a result of the lingering disputes with shipping companies, which had to do with poor packages and welfare of employees. At the briefing as well, the President General of the union, Prince Adewale, said that since 2018, organized labor had been battling with the shipping companies on the minimum standard for shipping companies on the welfare of workers to no avail. Despite several ultimatums, interventions of the immediate past Minister of Transportation, Muazu Sambo, the shipping companies, mostly multinationals, are refusing to yield. And so he expressed the sadness that the working condition of the workers in the nation's shipping industry were nothing short of modern-day slavery, and that's why they are not going to hesitate to go on with this full-blown strike. And they're going to be asking for solidarity from the Nigerian Ports Authority, NPA, staff dock workers, NIWA, seamen, and water transportation employees, because an injury to one is an injury to all. I think they had given a 14-day ultimatum before, which elapsed, nothing was done, and then they are moving on to another 7 days, nothing was done. They are saying they are going to start this industrial strike from June 5th, if nothing is done again.
Okay. I was doing. Okay, let's move on now to Vanguard. Let's find a story of Nautic. Alleged 4 billion money laundering, AFC quizzes ex-governor Fayemi. Crush oil thieves, other felons, Tinubu, other security agencies. Almost 2,000 killed, 714 abducted in Nigeria between January and April 2023, according to reports. Senate presidency, Shatima pleads with Yari to concede to Kalu. We haven't devalued Naira, says CBN. I was forced to sign presidential poll results in Kogi, Atiku's witness tells court. Tinubu misinformed on 10th National Assembly leadership, says source, as President Ms. Lawan and Gbajabiamila today. Presidential Tribunal will be tenders results of 6 states out of 18 and 115 local governments in evidence. Okay.
Yes, so in Abuja yesterday, there was a joint press briefing by Stephanos Foundation. This is a non-governmental organization focused on human rights and peace building, and also the Mogovo Development Association, MDA, in Mongo local government area. And they were just talking, the NGO really was gave us data on, violence and the impact that's happened between January to April of 2023, and the figures are alarming, as we're all aware. It says in that period, we've had 217 instances of attacks in 34 states across the country. We've recorded 1,872 deaths so far, 714 abductions, 65 injuries, and the reports released to highlight the urgent need for action to address the underlying causes of violence. I like what the advocate manager is, how she's described, that's her portfolio. She says a situation where armless and defenseless people are attacked in the middle of the night, killed with guns and machetes, houses burnt down, with their property looted and entire communities displaced is unacceptable. It is even worse when the attackers are unapprehended, let alone prosecuted. And no, she also says that there's a style. From eyewitness reports, there's a style to these attacks. And they say that the attacks are carried out in literally the same style, attackers dressed in similar fashion and victims with similar profile. And she goes on to name some of the towns that this has happened in recent times. She says the same thing in Agatu, Guma, Logo in Benue State, Kogoro, Zangon Kataf, Kajuru, Kafanchan in southern Kaduna, Basa, Riyom, Barkin Ladi, and now Mangu. Remember the Mangu incidents. And, you know, the people are still talking. They would like investigations to be carried out. Let me just take this part. It says that there is an impact of violence, you know, even economically. 40% of farm produce from Plateau State comes from Mangu local government. And with this violence, what do you think will happen? People are not going to the farms. People are aggrieved. We need to see that there's investigation, you catch people, you prosecute them. That's what people need to see. Then it will give them confidence.
When I went to Abuja, I was driving past the Nigerian Army, or this huge building. I'm thinking to myself, you think this is like the Center for Intelligence, you know, everybody, they just know what's going on. No, it's always been there. I've never seen it. It was my first time seeing it. But it's just that you think we have these huge institutions and they shouldn't have intelligence. Because if something is happening the same way over and over, and same patterns, it should be traceable and be able to apprehend these people. Let's take another story in Vanguard. I was going to take the leader of Arewa Youth, Alhaji Yerima Shetima, has pleaded with Abdul Aziz Yari, the former governor of Zamfara State, and also a frontline for the Senate presidency. He said that he should concede to Abia State Governor, former Abia State Governor, that's Chief Whip Dr. Orji Uzor Kalu. According to him, says that this will strengthen the unity of the country. He's saying that there's a strong partnership between the North and the South, and that Senator Orji Uzor Kalu is one that when he becomes Senate President, he'll be able to, he's a detribalized Nigerian and will be able to bring the House together. He says that although Yari has a stronger number, I mean that he has 42 senators in the House, while Senator Kalu has only 27. He said, however, the two of them coming together with 69 senators under their fold, but it's strong enough for them to be able to have to be some kind of control. It was appealing that for religious balancing and for peace and unity in the country, the Southeast does deserve the Senate presidency in the House.
So the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has denied devaluing the Naira, contrary to reports in the newspaper. Dr. Issa Abdul Momin, which is the Director of Corporate Communications, made a statement, and the statement reads in part, the attention of the Central Bank of Nigeria has been drawn to a news report titled CBN devalues Naira to 630 Naira to $1. We wish to state categorically that this news report, which in the imagination of the newspaper is exclusive, is replete with outright falsehood and destabilizing innuendos, reflecting potentially willful ignorance of the said medium as to the workings of the Nigerian foreign exchange market. For the avoidance of doubt, the exchange rate at the investors and exporters window traded this morning, June 1st, at 465 Naira to $1 and has been stable around the rates for a while. So they're advising the public to ignore the news, and you know, this is just speculative and is calculated at causing panic in the market. And media practitioners as well should make sure they verify the numbers from the CBN before printing in their papers.
Okay, we have to run a final paper. Let's find a story we've not taken. No more sit at home in Enugu. That's in Nigerian Tribune. Mba declares, we have not devalued the Naira, says CBN. Tinubu, Lawang, Gbajabiamila, Mila parley over National Assembly leadership positions. We were forced to sign presidential election results sheet. PDP witness tells court. And EFC quizzes Fayemi over the alleged $4 billion money laundering. Okay, I think that is all we can take on today's review. When we return, we move on to our hot topic of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be...
Thanks for staying with us. We're discussing married women, married men, and the whole works, and see how you can have the best of both worlds. As I said, people always feel that the grass is always greener on the other side. So married women wish they were single, wish that, you know, they should just move on. Single women want to be married, same and vice versa. Having the best of both worlds, how can it be achieved?
Yes, so I think first of all, men need to understand that the woman evolves from time to time. We are constantly changing. And I was listening to something recently which, you know, sort of pricked my spirit. It says that a woman has, in a month, a woman has only 1 week where she's sane. Yes, only 1 week where she's okay. There's no problem. She's sane. Because we're constantly moving from menstruation to ovulation to this to that. And our behaviors and moods are mostly hormonal. The problem we have most of the time is our men have not figured out how to understand which hormone is speaking per time, because it's the hormone that is talking per time. When that phase goes away, you are back, and then another hormone is prepping to come, and you are speaking. So for men who have figured out how to handle that, they find it's easy to sort of give in sometimes. It's not everything you argue about. So a woman says, I need me time, begging you since, I just need to be alone for just some space. I can go to my mother's house or my father's house. I just want to. And you are insisting, what are you looking for? For what? When did that start? You will get into trouble because she is speaking from what she's feeling at the time and the sort of space that she needs to make her feel better. So you must be willing to give that space. And having the best of both worlds is just about having a conversation with your woman to say, okay, so like when I start my own Chris, wait now. I'll come and meet Oga. I'll say, is this one now that is doing me? Is this one that I say, okay, hey, madam. So this one is the new one again. So you have evolved to this one again. Okay, can we do this at so and so time? You know, can you wait a bit so that we'll handle this at so and so time? Then he waits for me. And that's why we have not been having issues. Because
let me pause you for
if he was not that type of person.
Hey, thank you for taking me there.
Yeah,
let me pause you for a second. Because you see, whenever you tell me this, have the conversation, it kind of pushes me in the wrong way because
you don't
Nigerian men. Listen, you coach. You coach smarter. Have a conversation. You must talk to your husband. Have a conversation. Trust me. It's not all Nigerian men that can have a conversation. I have met a lot of Nigerian women have tried to find. They'll tell you, find a nice time. When he's in a happy mood, try it. That happy mood will do a 360 for you. Before you know it, he's already shouting away. So it's not every man that you can have a conversation with. I know it's not because he doesn't love you. He loves you to die. But doesn't want that manipulative approach. You know, sweetheart, and this thing.
So find the conversation that works with him.
Simple.
That's it. If he's not the sort that likes to sit down, there are some people like me, if you say, I would like to talk to you, just know that anything you tell me from that, I would like to talk to you. Not go down here. Because I would rather you just come up. Because I just feel that you're putting me under undue pressure.
Yeah.
So that sort of communication will not work for me.
Right.
If we're just talking gist and then you slip it in, that's fine. So don't make it a sit down or go into the bedroom conversation. Just make it a... Some people also is when you are having fun and making fun of each other that you slip in something and then my husband will catch you and say, yeah, be me. Like, I didn't get that. I got that. Or he will not say anything. Then maybe after a while he'll be like, you think I did not hear when you said, you know, but the moment you do that, I need to have a conversation. So maybe find the way that you can communicate to someone. Our mothers used to say, cook. They say
their best food.
Pound yam. Men used to be pound yam. I think men then were easier, so what's just pound yam for them?
They are good.
They are ready to hear anything. I think it's really finding how.
Okay, you go ahead.
Yes. So every man has his key. No matter how difficult you think this man is, another babe go hold him for corner. They do anyhow. You will not be shocked. Is it not this man that was treating me this way?
Yes.
Why is there a change? Because that girl found the key. So any woman who comes to me to say, I really don't know how to get my husband, you don't have his key. Go and find it. Through observation, through prayer, whatever means you need to find that key so that you have it. I have a friend who, all this talking, finding nice time does not work, is when she shouts at the man. The man used to behave, and it works for her. So will I tell her to, please don't be shouting at your husband? No, that's how she gets things done. Exactly. That's what works for the guy. Yeah, so just find that key, understand
what works for him. And you can do that through observing how he treats other people and what gets at him. You can find it. It's just observation. So don't sit there and feel, oh, Bisi can easily talk to her own. And I've tried talking to my own, it's not working. And then you close your shop.
To acknowledge that there's some people that would rather talk to a third party.
Yes.
Someone that they
listen to and respect.
So you can talk to that.
Okay, let's talk about this midlife crisis for women, you know, because as Miriam said, we don't really talk about it. You know, women just kind of find a way to just wing it, you know, up to their 60, 70, and they just go through life, and people don't even try to understand. I think it was Oprah was saying that nobody told her when she was about approaching menopause what she could have used to stop all the hot flashes and everything. Nobody told her that was she had to find out herself, you know. So because nobody's talking about the changes a woman goes through when she's 40. When you start hitting 40, 45, 50, your body is saying something, and you are now mentally trying to hold on to the babe. We saw Senator Itagiwa. She's still looking how to tomorrow. You know, these women are saying, listen, I'm not good, I don't go grieve. These women are still like, you know what, I'm still young, I'm a babe, I don't care if I'm 70 or 80. I'm there, I'm in town, you know. But you see, it's part of the life crisis that we go through as women. Nobody talks about it.
Do you realize that, or have you noticed that most of the women issue is shrouded in some form of secrecy?
Yeah.
I mean, it starts from menstruation as children, you know, when no one really tells you everything, you know, what to expect. As long as people have always had their menstrual cycle, it's still so very new for the younger generation.
Yes.
We're still learning. You hear that some people don't really even know how to be hygienic during that period. Because everything that concerns a woman, if it's not secrecy, it's shame. We cover it in secret, we cover it in shame. So you're not even meant to feel it. So when you're feeling it, you feel, I must be the only one going through it. And because I'm the only one going through it, something is wrong with me. But thank God for conversations like this. And now people are, you know, we're going to schools, we're talking to people. But this conversation about midlife crisis for women, perimenopause, menopause, those are conversations we need to have. Because we're heading there. And many times when we see women, you know, going through the hot flash, we laugh at them. Like, oh, it can't be me. I'm not going to let myself get there. Because you don't know that it's a natural process. You will get there sometime.
Let me take this call from Diola, calling from Ogba. Good morning, Diola. Ooh, we wanted to get that call.
Before our okay.
So I was just going to say, so now the midlife crisis, right? It's, for me, I feel like I want to know so much about it. I want to understand it so that I'm better prepared. I want to know what it will mean for me physically, what it will mean for me. Is that why I'm constantly still wearing my jeans, you know? Is that socially, does that mean that all of a sudden I'm going to change into this sort of person? And then also, because I have a life partner, and I'm also a mother, what would that mean for my children, raising my children and my goals in life? So I know that one of the symptoms of it is that you now you tend to be a bit more selfish. You're looking for your individuality. You want to be yourself. Okay, I've been a daughter all my years. I've been a wife. I've been a mother. Now it's about me. But how can I do, if I get more information, then I'm able to do it in a healthy way, which what you were talking about, maybe taking time off to be me, myself, will help with that, and I can come back and be fully wife and mother and daughter.
Yeah, so even before the midlife crisis, we always go through certain things in life, and that changes our outlook from time to time. What I would advise women before you get there, because some of us are approaching, some are already getting to the gates already, is to be aware of yourself. So for the longest time, I never knew how I used to react when I'm in my flow. Right?
PMS.
Yes, I never knew. It took me to start paying attention, looking at my calendar, and I started noticing that when the days are coming, I get very cranky. I'm snapping at everybody. I'm quarreling a lot. And when I paid attention for 3 months stretch, I was able to see the pattern. So that period, I usually get into trouble with my husband because he would just be playing with me and I'm snapping. And I don't understand why I'm snapping. And it's like, what have I done? I say, yeah, honestly, I've not done anything. I just don't know why I snapped, you know? So when I now paid attention, I had a conversation with him. I said, please, in a few days' time, I will be grouchy and snappy. Can you kindly avoid me this period? They said, what is happening? I said, this is it. This is what I've noticed over time. I was able to show him that calendar. And so now he's prepared for it. But fortunately for me yesterday, it's changing again. For a few months now, I have not been snappy, cranky, and fighting people, but I've been having cravings, right? Seriously. So once I start shouting, ice cream, or this one, or that one, or he's like, okay, okay. And everybody just stays clear of my path. Because we will keep changing. And with menopause, it becomes worse. Your body is going through that, what would they call it now? Your hormonal changes are becoming more intense.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a pattern of understanding, studying, trying to, you know, take up some good habits that will help you, you may crack at that time. And that's why you just wake up one day, somebody has shaved off his head
important
and doesn't understand why she did that.
So a lot of women, I mean, are in that phase. And as I said, as Mariam has said, we don't talk about these things. So people just seem to bear it alone. And the more, and I would really like to hear from women this morning, you know, maybe we should even focus this conversation on women and their changes, because the reason why we thought of me time was that when we were discussing yesterday, just about maybe if we take out from this thing called marriage and find ourselves and rejuvenate, maybe people will be better. But Mariam is saying, hey, maybe it might be midlife crisis. So it's possible. I would really like to go on a break now. When we come back, the numbers on your screen, 081-270-53687, 091-390-76948. Tweet to that TVC Connect. Please hashtag your view TVC so we can read your tweets. Do you have any comments on social media?
Yes, Lega Ibrahim says, intermittent breaks are marital refreshing and restructuring process and strategies. Okay, but you need money, i.e. marital lubricant, to be able to enjoy it. After such separation, both parties get refreshed with better ideas, energy, new love, and marital fantasies that will further fuel the union.
I don't think you need money. So you can go to your mother's house.
Yeah.
It's not a vacation.
No.
It's away.
Just
So
want to
you
be
go to
by
your parents'
yourself.
house, your friend's house. I'm just there. Your phone's family, everybody out of my way. I'm hanging out with my girls.
Don't need
It's not
money
money.
for
This is just time for you to say, I am just busy today. Let's go on a break. When we come back, I know I keep using your name today. When we come back, we'll open our phone lines and get more calls. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So usually on Fridays, we have our celebrity gist and gossip, but whatever reason, celebrity industry is so quiet and peaceful.
They're
Nothing's
drinking
happening.
water and minding their
Everybody's
business.
just, there's no hotness going on. We've surfed everywhere. All the celebrities are just, they've given their life to Christ. you know, but pretty much. But so we had to just continue from where we stopped yesterday concerning marriage, because we like to talk about marriages on Thursdays. However, something came up yesterday while we were having a conversation, and people were asking if it is necessary for couples to take intermittent breaks for rejuvenation in their marriage. Would it be a healthy addition to make marriages work? What are your thoughts? Somebody was saying that maybe legally you should be allowed to have 1 month a year where Mr. A can go somewhere for a whole month, just disappear, no wife, no kids, nothing, just him from work, come home himself, be like a bachelor. Mrs. B too, during her own month, goes off like she's living like a single babe, go out, hang out with her friends, come home late at night, no kids, nothing, not checking up anybody. She'll be fine for a month. Should it be legalized? Do you think it'll help your marriages? Please call us. We'd really like to hear from married couples this time around. Call us on 081-270-53687, 091-390-76948. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your view TVC so we can read your tweet. Because we have to find a way to solve the problem of breaking homes. Many homes are breaking up these days. Many people can't deal with all the various factors within the home, all the dynamics that happens in a home. And people are saying we can solve it by giving everybody some time off, because sometimes they're in your face too much. You always think grass is greener outside because somebody, your single friend, is just having a ball, she's traveling to Singapore, she has freedom, and you are here stuck with 2 children and family and grandma and everything. So if we give women or men 1 month break legally, would it help homes? That's our conversation. Obiajili, would you like to start?
I think we should start from women. Because, you know, the way the African home is, women bear more of the burden of nurturing and taking care of everybody. I know there are some women that are not in that space.
Valid,
no. Some women are not in that space, yeah, but the
And
majority, and some men are in that space, but the majority, I'm talking general now, yeah. The first thing is the woman who has the capacity to nurture everybody in the home. She's the one thinking of what do we eat, writing the timetables, going grocery shopping.
Right.
I closed from work yesterday and I entered the market to go and shop for grocery because I have to write another full timetable for the coming month, you know, so that we have variety. I'm constantly thinking, Gary is finished, Pepper is finished. This one will say, Mommy, we want you in my school. I wake up every day, it's Mommy, Daddy, baby, everybody is calling. So I would like that if it's possible that I get like a month in a full year where I am just busy. Like I wake up and I'm not waking up into anybody's arms. I'm going to be alone. Like I wake up, I do my meditation, I bring my journaling, I write what I want to write, you know, I go out, I take my exercise, I do my walks, I take my coffee, I just chill with a book. Like I go down to the restaurant, you know, order my breakfast and everything, eat. I'm just by myself. I refresh, I rejuvenate, I reflect. You know, I think, I have time to ask myself critical questions. Where do I see myself? Where do I see my life? Where do I see my home? So that when I come back after that 1 month, I am ready to take on, like, I've missed you, baby. I didn't see you for 1 month. I've missed my kids. Everybody, mommy. Then I do my role properly. And the next year again, I have vacation for 1 month being by myself. I think if we start thinking that way, it may reduce the level of codependency. So there's what they call codependency in marriage, where some people cannot function without the other. And if the two of you are not the same way, so that one is trauma on his own. The one that wants to be alone is trauma on his own. But if two of you cannot function properly independently, it is a problem, and it puts the burden on the partners. So you're constantly thinking for the other person. I have to sort out as much as what are you wearing.
Yeah. You know when you said that, I remembered that even my mother-in-law and my father-in-law were like that. I mean, though he passed on 2017, but my mother-in-law was so dependent. Like everything was from daddy. Daddy got her. Even the shopping, many times he buys the shopping, clothes, yam, everything he would buy. So she was just waiting for him. So when he passed on, it was difficult for her to survive alone in the house. That's why I had to bring her to Lagos. Because she just couldn't understand waking up in the house and he was alone.
Yeah.
If we had left her there, it would have been able. So you're right, that codependence is there. Sometimes, maybe if she had been traveling, maybe taking vacation by herself for years, she'll be used to that alone time. But let me come to you, Mariam. What are your thoughts? Because, as I said, people are trying to find solutions. You know, married people are wishing they were single because their single friends have freedom. Single girls are wishing they're married because they feel that they want somebody in their house. So everybody's like, the grass is always greener outside. So what do you think? How do we have the best of both worlds?
I don't know. No, the question you asked initially, the question you asked is initially, if it is healthy, take that time off. And I think it is for fathers, for mothers, for kids as well. You know, that change of environment definitely gives you, apart from refreshing your mind, it even gives you a better appreciation for where you are and for the people around you when you're away from them. Sometimes when you're constantly in someone's face, you tend to take them for granted.
Yeah.
You know, but when you stay away from them, you see in the many ways that they're so important in your life, that they help with the wheels of your life rolling, and you're thinking, you know, I can't wait to get back. So I think it is a fantastic idea to have some time off. Some people may not be able to afford like a full vacation where you're traveling the world or you leave your house completely. But I think that in different ways we can get that time. If it's some hours in a day, if it is some time in a month, you know, take that time out. And everyone knows that that time out is, do you understand? It's not something that happens here or there. Everybody understands it happens at this particular time, this particular place, you know, every week or every month or in the year. That way, you know, and then it's respected. That space is respected. I think it's a good thing.
I mean, imagine
but you now spoke about codependency, and when you talked about your in-laws, reminded me as well of my late mother-in-law. At the time I met her, I think her husband had passed maybe 5 years, I'm not sure, but quite a while. And at the time I met her, she'd wake up in the morning, his seat was still there, and she'd go, Gray, good morning, Gray. Aww. You know, like, you cannot even sit on that seat. Like, what? Are you sitting on daddy's seat? You know, he still sort of made his memory part of her everyday life. So, yeah. And I think it's tougher with people who have lived longer with each other. Together. Because there is that part of your life when you're young like us, we're still out and about, and we really are craving our independence. Right. But after a while, when you're much older, your life is each other. You give each other joy. So
look, let me go to the part where I said the best of both worlds. Because sometimes, you know, when you're in marriage, sometimes you always feel like, I miss my freedom. Yes, 2 days ago, I bought anklet. I'm wearing an anklet.
I didn't see that.
Yeah,
oh, girl.
Cute. So in my early days of marriage, my husband hates anklets. He doesn't like the idea for anklets at all. So he stopped me. Just what's all this one? So I stopped it because him. But as I said, I'm growing. You know, I'm getting to a point in my life where I'm like, you know, okay, I have to like what I like, right? So I ordered some. So I wore it yesterday for the very first time. He didn't see it. So when I was going to bed last night and I was about to remove it, what's all this nonsense? Because I started talking about all the demonic of anklets. I'm thinking, right. Yeah, so I'm like, I bought it and I'm wearing it. So this morning, I didn't wear it in his presence because I know that he doesn't like it. But when I got to TVC, I wore my tin. And when I get to the house, I'll remove it again. But at least, but the point is, some women get tired, they feel somewhat caged in certain things. You know, when you're a wife, certain things you must consider, somebody's feelings, and how the children, you know, but you want that 1 week or 2 weeks where none of that matters. You can go out, you can get a drink, you can get drunk with your friends, you can go out, you can dress like Lil' Kim today, you can have green hair tomorrow, you know. Nobody's telling you, don't do this, don't go there. It's just you, single, BC, with you, single, marry yourself, all by you being you.
We could think single self, so
so do you think, I mean, women should, or men should consider that space where, so that when I say best of both worlds, that's what I mean, that it's not the regular me time, that's a nice formal me time thing. I'm saying where you do a 360.
Yeah. But you know, when you were describing this, I was just listening and thinking, Mariah, do you by any chance think this may be symptoms of midlife crisis? Where
for who?
For women and for men. They say between the ages of 40 to 60, men and women, you know, we get to that point, and that's when we're constantly thinking, see, I'm so hot, or how things used to be. I want to change the color of my hair. I want to dress more funky and, you know, whatever. And you may think it's just the marriage is just that it's a natural evolution of life. So you've gotten to that place, and you're looking at your youth passing you by as you're approaching. No, it's for all of us.
You're trying to grab it.
Yes, so you're trying to hold on to it, you know. But I think the thing is to understand that that's where you are. Because it will be confusing to a partner. Like, hello?
What's happening here?
We were wearing long skirts and going to church Mondays to Fridays. All of a sudden, you want to be hanging out and drinking, and, you know, this is not you. But if you understand it, because for me, when as I'm listening to this, I'm thinking, these are conversations we hear all the time, especially with men. And with men, because we've now given it a name, we even sort of expect it, we know how to handle it. But with women, I don't think we've really put women in that midlife crisis thing. But we get there.
Okay, I like that. Let's talk about midlife crisis. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll discuss this midlife crisis, how to handle it. Maybe these me times can also help sort out midlife crisis. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So I remember we're still discussing this issue of midlife crisis. especially for women, but we can also touch on men. I remember when my brother was in his 40s, you know, he just came home back in the years then, he just braided his hair. This is a man that just braided his hair, you know. He didn't color it though, but he had it braided on, and he came with a t-shirt, you know, like on those sleeveless. My mother was wondering,
what is happening?
Are you okay? Then we didn't get it. We just thought this 40-some-year-old man
shouldn't be doing
this. I mean, you didn't braid your hair when you were 16, when young teenagers were braiding hair. Now you're in your mid-40s. You now feel like it's time for you to braid hair and not come with a sleeveless shirt, you know, acting like a guy. And so my mom was quite worried. You know, she got into fasting and prayer, thinking that this guy is, you know, of course, my mother was really, really praying about it, really worried that God to help this man. But now as I grow older, I realized that there's a phase in life where you just feel like, you know what, I must fight it. Yeah. But not everybody is able to fight it. Because some people, when you get to that age, it's either you go down where you just go, I am not Mama Jare, please, I have 4 children. I cannot be, I prefer let me just do what she I'm fine. Others are fighting it to stay young. So the question is, how do you find a middle ground? How do you not become somebody who is trying too hard to be young when you should actually be maturing? Because shouldn't you appreciate your maturity? You know, when we look at you as you're busy, you're dancing, I think you're 60, auntie, please. You have please, you shouldn't be dancing.
This has been midlife crisis. I am 16 years old.
Could it be midlife crisis that is doing you? You're saying that you're 16. You know, But let me pause you for a second. I have Dr. Moyo as we called. Dr. Moyo, you're live. Thanks for calling.
Yes, good morning.
Morning.
Yes. I'm not in my 40s, but I'm currently experiencing things like this.
Okay.
Because I remember when I was in my 20s, I had sugar, I was very sleepy. All of a sudden, now I'm in my late 30s. Everything just disappeared. I'm like, it just became like magic. What happened? We said that I'm not exercising enough, or I'm not dieting, and then things that I will ordinarily ignore because I start getting angry over, especially when I'm ovulating. So when I discovered that, once I'm ovulating and I'm hearing my period, I avoid everybody. Yeah. And I avoid situations that will trigger anger.
Yeah.
So that's what I do.
Oh,
nice. It takes effort. And I do that intentionally.
Yeah, fantastic, Dr. Moya. Thank you very much for your comment.
So first of all, midlife crisis, like any other crisis, is a phase. It's something that comes and it will come and then it will go and then you launch into the next year. It's like teenagers, you know, from the age of these days, it's very fast. From the age of 10, 11, they're already showing you attitude. They are ready, you know, you're seeing the signs of teenagehood with all the rudeness and everything that comes with it. So you have finished that one. You're now, you become an adult after your teenage years, become an adult, you've been adulting. Now you're crossing over to the next phase of adulthood. You will have a bit of that shake-up. But what saves you is the foundation that you have, which you fall back to. So let me tell you something recently. Oga came back one day and said he wanted to dye his hair blonde. I said, what?
Blondie.
Blondo. Hey, you that you are SU. You've been SU since I've known you. Yeah. You don't believe in all of this. You just allow me do it because it makes me happy. Yeah. But it's not you. I said, he really wants to. I said, brother, what? Are you sure it's not me? Like crisis? You know, and I started reading up on it and I started seeing some of the signs that it comes. And I said, oh God, we have to sit down and read this thing. It's a phase, it will go, you know, it will blow over. And that dyeing of hair has blown over to something else. So it will for a while, and I'm just understanding that myself will still get to that point. I think my own started from the time I was a baby. My own crisis every month.
Let me let you come in here.
Okay, so I was going to say that the fun part of midlife crisis for me is even the dressing up and everything, but you know that it has impact on relationships. Remember, you know, at least growing up, I used to hear of marriages that were going through issues where the man, all of a sudden, he does not want to be that devout, responsible husband. He wants to now start wearing saggy jeans and then dating younger and things like that. And the conversation and the advice that we were giving to women is, don't worry, it's a phase, it will blow over and he will come back to his senses. And so, you know, in fact, I feel that those were some of the conversations that helped women to adjust to those misbehaviors that the men would show during that period. So it's the impact on relationships that we need to be looking at.
Yes, I like that. Okay. I was going to let me stay on that impact on relationship because let me let you finish.
Yes. So we need to see And how we can help each other is talk about it, recognize that it exists, and these are the things that could happen. So just like the example BC gave, when he came to her and he did not come to someone who was unaware of what could have happened. And imagine they had been going back and forth and she's just trying to stop my shine. This person does not like me anymore. But once she mentioned this is what could be happening, he's able to centralize it, you know, to one thing, and they read up about it and look at it, then they laugh about it. But if you did not have a name for it, you'd be like, no, this is just me, it's happening specifically.
Hey, something has started.
It's not a midlife crisis. My own is a special situation. So we need, there's something my husband always says, don't make long-term decisions on short-term issues.
Feelings.
Like you're going through a short-term crisis, don't make decisions that will be forever lasting because of something that is about to blow over. So if people are aware that this is a short a phase, they'll be careful not to make so much mistake that affects their whole relationship.
So the angle I wanted to come in was because a lot of women in their midlife, they start making money. Start doing well. They become maybe CEOs, they become directors in companies, and their career is building. That time, they also want to look good. So the husband interprets it that, is she dating somebody? Is she sleeping with the MD? Because you are having this midlife crisis of, okay, I feel empowered now. I don't want to be Sumbo in the house. No, because the other day, my mother-in-law called me, Elizabeth. I'm like, Mommy, please.
No, please don't. Never.
Don't start sipping that into my subconscious. Please.
You'll be like YK that says they call her glamour.
I don't know about that one. But I said, you know, she was giving me nails. You know, sometimes when my husband, when I'm trying to dress up in the house, when I'm trying to wear something, I'm like, don't you know it is Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala you should be looking at? That's the kind of person, that's the kind of level that you are in. Do you always the questions of the... I appreciate those people, and I would like to be there career-wise.
Yeah, but you like the Kardashians.
I like the look of other areas, other people. You know, I try to, because you're constantly trying to bring me back to, don't you know, these are the people you should be looking at.
Mariah, let me tell you what happened.
So the point is that a lot of men don't realize that when you sip those things into subconscious, some women rebel. Because some women say, no, that's what, and because they rebel and do otherwise, you now think, it's because... they're cheating or something. Because a lot of men begin to have that they have that insecurity because you can't handle a woman who is now the MD of a company, and now she doesn't want to look like this my Yasumbo anymore. She wants to look like the chick because she just feels,
so a lot of men don't, sorry, let me apologize if I say what I want to say. I did not say everybody, but I say a lot of men are not in the space where they read. They focus strictly on their career, what they are good at, and they don't read some soft life issues that would help them understand how to manage situations when they come up. But because of the way society is, a woman is expected to understand when it's happening to the man. But when it's happening to the woman, nobody cares about understanding. Suck it up. And at the end of the day, those women who were not able to forcefully express or explain themselves out. So we have people who understand us and would listen to us when we talk to them. Some people don't. So you find that those people become depressed and they start living in resentment. And down the line, you start hearing this disease, this sickness, this, that, because they had repressed that time they were supposed to express, you know, and express in love. Because if you are supportive, you understand that, okay, this is just the phase she's going through. Let me support her. Let me make her feel good. Let me do this. After a while, you get out of it. In a few years, you get out of it and you are back to, I am the mama of this compound. I am the this of...
I'm thinking, are you sure that's not an advantage of marrying someone much older who's gone ahead of you and done...
And already knows where you're coming.
I know where you're coming. Don't worry, it's your time now.
No.
I'm thinking
a much older, educated, and a learner. Because I've seen much older that is even the end. You dare not raise your neck to say you want to change how I've met you. So they expect you to stay the same. You met me when I was 18. You expect me to stay the same till this age? It's not possible. So if men would humble themselves to read some of these things, find information, it will help them understand that it's not because this woman wants to be wayward. Some things are going on with her. Let me allow her. Let me see how she flies. Let me support her. Before you realize, the woman comes back to you in full and takes over her position as proudly Iya Mama or whatever she wants to call herself.
Udemola Alalade says there's no midlife crisis anywhere. People tend to discover certain things about themselves at every point of their lives. When that time comes, people should be allowed to explore and discover and make themselves happy as that phase will eventually pass. So if that phase of finding yourself and exploring, if it involves being with someone else apart from their partner, is this something that we're willing to sit down and watch them grow out of?
Mbao.
Well, you see, the reason why we say it's a
That one is
crisis,
different.
because sometimes
It's part of it. That's the crisis.
yeah,
That's the
it's
crisis.
a crisis. So those are the certain things where even a man doesn't want to see the kids. I just want to see. I don't want to see the wife. The responsibilities. I'm done. I just want to be with my boys. It's a crisis. You know, a woman says, I don't want to see the kids. I don't want to see anybody. I don't want anybody saying, "Mommy, I just want to be me for just a short time, even if it is 2 days." So it's a crisis because it's like you're going away from reality. So, but you must also understand that you have to come back to reality.
Yeah,
Yeah, escaping reality, but it's also is it healthy to escape reality?
You want
Jesse
fantasy
says-
now.
Jesse Obi says, ladies, don't you think giving an intermittent break in marriages might give opportunities to unexpected, like cheating?
Hey, whoa.
Yeah.
That's the fear.
That's another
Don't even
angle.
try it.
That's the fear.
Let me take Ajoke. I'll come to UBC. Ajoke, good morning. Thanks for calling.
Good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please. Yes.
Good morning. What I will say is that one should enjoy his life at any age, any phase of your life. Enjoy your life. Me, I like to look good. I am 69 this month.
Wow.
Me, I don't like looking. So that's what I will tell women. Any phase of your life, enjoy it.
Okay.
Look
Fantastic.
good.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ajoke.
So what I see, my own personal opinion is, if, for instance, you are in that phase where things are blooming for you, the midlife thing has started, your work space is good, you are becoming CEO, blah, 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 you're now getting more attention from different people, and you have a husband who is not at par, a husband who doesn't understand, who doesn't support, I think that's where you even start considering, maybe this person is smiling at me and I kind of like him. I think that is where that comes in. But if you are in that space with somebody who understands and holds your hand, it's not easy for a woman to just decide to just go out there.
Vice versa?
Yes.
Would you say vice versa?
I wouldn't say vice
No,
versa.
I won't say vice versa, because for men, they've given us 107 excuses of why it's biological for them to do that. But for a woman, I know it's not an easy thing to just do and just move on. Do you understand? But that's why you must understand what your partner is going through. And you can talk about your fantasies. There was a course I did recently where they were asking women, that my other area, sexual something. They were not asking.
Kind of courses, I don't even understand where these guys come from.
I'm a life coach now.
go ahead,
I have
go
to dig into some things, yeah. So they were not asking women to mention married women, fantasies. Hey,
Jesus Christ.
the kind of things we had.
Hey.
I won't say it. This is live TV. Before they come after, the kind of things we had. Have you had this sort of conversation to my husband? No. He will not understand. He will say, I'm now demon. He will say this, he will say that. That's how they have not had that conversation. So if that person who is in that relationship where she's not free enough to share some of those fantasies with her partner starts getting through or going through midlife crisis,
just opened a
and
new
somebody
can of
now winks and like, I can give you what you're looking for, baby. What do you expect?
Lord of Jesus.
I don't know.
Okay, let me pause. I need to take
It's
that
not
into
edifying. I don't
It's an
want to hear it.
interesting angle because, oh, Father in heaven,
Is
help
it
me.
edifying?
This
Oh, if I got to that.
because a lot of Nigerian women,
Yeah.
because as I said, many women, especially married women, slide into my DM. And I think, and that's why I'm always very careful to talk about marriage.
Yeah.
I really I want my marriage to maybe hit 25 years before I start really dishing out. Because
Yeah.
I'm just 13 or 12 years in marriage, and I feel that there's a lot more for me to learn.
Yeah.
But I get a lot of people coming to my DM,
Yes, we do.
and I've seen a few of that. Where they actually have these desires.
Yeah, it's
They're
there.
unable to speak it. And then so some will say, I am 50-something years old and I have regrets. And I have young people who are really willing to fulfill these desires. And there's temptation in my face. These are serious,
a huge
genuine
matter.
conversations. But let me take this call from Abosede. Good morning, Abosede. You're live. Thanks for calling.
Good morning, Mariah. How are you
Morning.
doing?
Very well.
I appreciate this call that you guys are talking about. But I am going through that phase as I speak with you.
Okay.
I am 49. I was 49 in August. But do you know that there is a lot of things I'm craving for that I've not, I don't do before.
Like?
Like I saw you wearing a net leg chain now. Do you know that before now I don't really crave for it, but now I love it.
Ah.
There was a time last year I traveled to Ghana, and I wanted to buy a waist. Honestly, naturally, before I don't really like it. But as I grow older, I see that I wanted to wear it. But I never had to call my husband. My husband lives in the US. I said, I want to buy a waist. He said, oh, have you started anything? So where is that one coming from? But really, I wanted the leg thing, but it didn't allow me. I really don't know. But naturally, before now, I really don't like them. But now I see myself craving for. I'm looking at you, I'm seeing it, I am desiring it. But my God will not allow me. I don't know.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Abose. See, that's what we're talking about. Yeah. Because some women marry as SUs, especially those women that Sister Mary. I always go back to Sister Mary.
Yeah.
Sister Mary married as a nice, pious girl, Christian. She wanted a good Christian boy. Everybody is in choir. Everybody together. We are now husband and wife, blood of Jesus, everything. You now become to get to 40. And Sister Mary is thinking, she's now saying, I want to look like Kim Kardashian. I want to wear the weaves. I want to have the waist beads. I want to have the anklets. I want to look like a babe. I see BC them, all of them carrying all this long hair. Means I want to, and brother John is thinking,
what happened?
What happened to you? Who is exposing you to this? What have you been watching? Nothing is the demon has invested. Not knowing that the girl is going through a phase. Yeah. So the man is there scabashing, thinking that the girl has been possessed, reporting to pastor that wife has changed, that the Sister Mary I knew is not.
Has been possessed.
Has been possessed. But the truth is, she's getting to the point where I have been Sister Mary for all these years. Please, I want to be Brazilian here for tomorrow. Just allow me, not that is, sinful, not that we're going to do bad things, but I want to look like...
Yeah. So I think that's what we're talking about earlier, where we're saying that I said there's some parts of this midlife crisis that we can allow our partners to go ahead and do it so that they don't need to rebel with us on bigger things. So she wants to wear the leg chain. That's fine. She wants to wear the hair. That's okay. She can take off the hair tomorrow. But don't push on, don't fight the tiny battle so much that when the bigger ones, it's affecting the bigger things. So it's like, okay, you don't want me to wear lecture, you don't want me to... Now, please, I'm traveling abroad for 3 months, and I just want to see the world and hang out with these Rastafarian guys and whatever. Do you understand? So you push the person. But it's important that both parties are aware that this is what's happening. Sis, I think this is midlife crisis. You're like, no, God forbid, I'm not that old. Like, that's where you're headed. Look at the symptoms. You're like, okay. And then knowing that at the back of her mind will also help to direct how far she goes. For her husband, I hope he hears her.
We need to wrap up on this. I want us to take a few comments on social media so we can wrap up. We can go to our next
Just something little. So I like how she, just sort of wrapped it up. When you allow them to do the little things, right? They even tire us. Yes, there were months I went without I have 2 leg chains. I did not wear because I was tired. I have the waist bead that it was a phase. In fact, I bought for me and my 2 girls. We all wear. The only person whose own is still on the waist is the little baby. Me and the elder daughter, I don't even know where it is. I got tired. So if you allow them express, just have that conversation so you know when the expression wants to go above what it is expected and within the guidelines of your marriage. But you must be open to hear them out without judgment. So why women don't talk about some of these things is because they will be judged. The next thing, they will give you a name, label you, call you a name that is not your name, just because they don't understand. So don't judge, don't label, because your own fantasy, you will not share with us, but you go and do it with somebody else. Me, I'm sharing with you and you're calling me name.
Fantastic. Maybe I put anklet this morning now. Maybe by next 1 week, I might just...
You are tired.
Because I just feel like wearing it. They'll go and preach it on me because that they don't have been possessed.
And when they preach it on you, you insist on doing that.
There's the opposite that happens, where you're all these things and all of a sudden, midlife crisis hits and you just want to be...
Sister Mary.
No, you just want to be Sister Mary.
Yeah.
You want to go.
It happens that way.
And meanwhile, you have this high-flying, outgoing personality of your husband. It's like, well, our couple, all of a sudden, no, I just want to stay at home and wear this boo-boo and just not do anything.
And it's okay.
It's okay, too.
Because it's also a phase.
It affects the marriage, too. It impacts on the relationship as well.
Well, that's true.
Understanding of the partner.
So it goes back to understanding and making sure you have the buy-in.
Yeah.
That's why I can't wear this anklet to the house. Once I get into my
estimate, they've seen you.
They've seen you.
Brown doesn't watch TV. He doesn't watch. Unless those people who go and screen grab and show him. He doesn't watch. Anyway, let's go on the break. We have to wrap on this. But any comments on social media?
We have a lot.
Okay. A midlife crisis should not be tied to marriage before you get into marriage. You must have known your partner very well. A midlife crisis should be linked to behavioral attitude that people pick up at old age that was never part of their life. Let people explore.
Abisi Olabisi said, I got tired of waist beads and waist chains too. Omoti says, looking good is all about mindset. I'm 45 in December. I work out 4 times a week. I eat right and I dress me. And I do not want to look mature as some women like me do.
Okay, I think we can wrap up on that. But in a nutshell, really, we started this conversation. About just getting women to understand,
Take a break.
you know, to take a break, to take a break.
Yeah.
Thanks for staying with us. So there's another story that caught our attention on social media. Some of our producers found a story where a woman, she's supposed to be, well, we never know how, we can't verify these stories, but when they come to us, we try to use them as reference points. So this woman allegedly said that she's the daughter of a general overseer. She got married in church, and everything happened perfectly in church with their marriage. And they had a courtship, the whole works. Getting into the marriage with this man, she then found out that he didn't have a penis. He didn't have a manhood. Then, according to her, it's been 3 months. They do everything else but the real deal. And the man says he was born like that. He was born without a manhood. And
For children.
And then, so for children, he advised that they should get adoption. They should try to adopt kids because at least it gives her some sort of satisfaction in other ways, except the way God had intended it to be. Anyways, she now came out on the videos crying for help because her family is insisting she must stay in that marriage because, hey, her father is a general overseer. She's not going to, can't going to disgrace the family by leaving a marriage that has been widely celebrated, you know, in the church. She's confused because according to her, she's been in marriage right now and nothing is happening. She feels frustrated. Now, we're using this as a case study because, as I said, we can never verify these stories. But sometimes we've heard of so many marriages that are done under religion, either as a Muslim marriage or a Christian marriage, where certain things were not disclosed. You then find out in the marriage that the man can't get it up, or the woman doesn't have any feeling, or just something happens where, because it's all concealed. So if you're going to be married in church, you're not allowed to touch each other, you're not allowed to have those pre-marital explorations. You're only allowed to wait till you enter and then see what God gave you.
Yes.
So the conversation is this a doctrine that we should continue? Because we know it's supposed to be sanctimonious to help you to preserve yourself before entering this matrimony. But we have seen deception.
Plenty.
A lot of deception, especially young girls that get into it. I know somebody, this one no be just, somebody that when she entered the marriage, the man didn't touch her. He never touched her. And she was just wondering, why is this man not touching me? The man prefers to get satisfaction via TV on his own. Oh. He was by himself, sorting himself out by himself. When he gets a woman for house, he won't touch the woman. And this is a proper religious Christian man. You know, proper. And she's like, what do I do? Who do I tell? Hey, he's not coming to me. So this is part of deception that a lot of women are harboring.
And grounds for divorce.
But pastors, family says, stay there.
I think it's unfair to look at this situation. What did they worry the parents? It's unfair to look at this situation and say, stay there for our name. Which name? We have to stop this. All this, what would they say? When they now talk about my family, they will say, I have a child that has divorced, I have this. You are putting the interest of the family name before your children's happiness. We need to stop it. She did not decide that she was going to pack up and end the marriage for whatever reason. This was based on deception. So you want your daughter to stay in that marriage, adopt children, and not be able to satisfy herself. Her husband cannot touch her. That's what you want. That is what you give your family, that name that you deserve. Who are you lying to and what are you hiding? What name are you preserving and what are you protecting? We need to take, and I am happy for, I don't know, I think her generation is a bit older. I'm happy for the sort of parents that you will not hear that and allow your child to stay there. You will carry her bag and leave the house. That's deception. I solved a case like this a few years ago. It was a family member who, after a while, she said she was going to be chaste, and she waited. Then she started a relationship with this young church man. That one was happy that, okay, you want to be chaste. Me, if I want to be chaste. Only for them to finish wedding. All of us went to bought a shwebi, dance and everything. Or go home. A few weeks, nothing has happened. She kept... So this one is not that there was nothing there. There was something there, but it wasn't working. And this man has been like that for a very long time. The family, the mother, the in-laws, everybody knew about the situation. So that was why they were happy. He now finally met somebody who did not test, who didn't taste it. And they started the marriage.
He was aware.
He was aware. Of course he was aware. He knew it wasn't working because no other person wanted to marry him. He was like in his late 40s when this marriage happened. So girls will come, they find out, and then they run away. And at the end of the day, I told this lady, so look at yourself 5 to 10 years from now. Would you want to be in a sexless marriage? Would it be okay for you to be in this marriage? Because he was advising that she can have a boyfriend and still be in the marriage. So she will be bringing the child inside the marriage. I said, is that what you want for yourself? After keeping yourself for this long and facing your God, is that the kind of life that you want? She had to make the tough decision. I'm happy for her now. She's remarried to somebody else just very recently. And she left that marriage. So we can't keep insisting this person stays in the marriage for family.
So
what?
We insist that our girls be virgins, because it was the thing of bride.
I beg you.
Just wait. But we were asking them to wait, thinking that the men were equally responsible enough to do what was necessary. But now we're seeing a lot of men aren't responsible, and the girls are not looking for virgin men. Men are they're always looking for experienced men.
Yeah, of course.
They are not looking for virgin men. So how does a woman who is in that situation, let's even start with this woman's story. How does a woman in this situation, how does she even begin to find a solution?
Well, for me, the solution is easy. If she can't stay, then she should leave. He's saying that the truth is there are two ways to look at this. This is not someone, definitely the deception is involved. So in the very beginning, he should have told her his condition. She should have been aware, and then she should have been allowed to make the decision to go ahead or not. So now I'm just going to talk about someone who maybe was aware before the marriage and decided to go ahead, that it is possible to stay with someone like that. Because it's not someone that is saying, I'm not going to give you any pleasure. I will just give you in different ways. And concerning children, will adopt. But it still rests on you to decide if that's what you want to do.
So if you love him enough, you can stay.
Yes, if you love him enough, you can stay. I will not get that, but there are other ways that he's willing to do it for me. There's other ways that he's going to make sure that I can get, what I need. I may not get that one exactly. And for children, we can get, if she wants that, as long as she's been given the time to make that decision before she goes into marriage. So deception is the problem right now. There are people who have been in relationships like, the one you gave example of, where they got married and this man who prefers to do it on his own and he's not able to do it with the wife. For me, that's even a simpler situation because you can work on that. But I hope it is something something he was aware of. The problem in all this conversation is
the lies.
Is the lies, is the deception. But many things can be worked through. But you have to allow the person make that decision. There are some people who have not learned how to, especially people who have been shielded. You've been told you should not touch anyone, you should not be involved in anything. And so you found a way to carry yourself through the years you're single by taking care of yourself. And now you have a woman in the house, you don't even know how to transfer that feeling into that person. And there is a way you can work that out. So sometimes it's not I'm not doing matter, it's are we willing to work? But the other person too has to be humble enough to recognize I have a problem and I'm willing to work it out.
Let me take this call from Yakub. Good morning, Yakub, you're live.
Yeah, good morning.
Thanks for calling.
Yeah, thank you. Also, good morning, and then
Morning, my brother, morning.
I think this is a very serious issue here.
It is.
This woman that just found out now, what is advice we are going to give to this woman now? I think I totally agree with Elsie. Because For me, my advice to the woman is this. The best thing for her is to take a leave. Because you cannot just manage that. And then the family that's trying to advise her to stay in the marriage, if they do that, how are they going to give back to her? Because you advise her to stay in the marriage based on what? Based that she will be going outside to go and bring the bastard at home. At the end of the day, maybe one of the men outside there got to know that he has children with her. But that one will come one day and claim child. So what will happen? So you are trying to protect the family name. At the end of the day, you bastardize everything at the end of the day, because the issue is that you advise that if you continue to stay in the marriage, or because you don't want anybody to know that things happen and all that.
Right, thank you very much.
Never be happy that.
Thank you, Jacob. So I'll come to one that. See, who are we to judge a situation like this? Let us look at it in a different way. What if God had brought them together because he wanted them to adopt a child? Maybe there's a girl, a boy, a little girl that needs adoption that he wants this couple to actually raise. There are different ways of looking at these things. You know, society says, if you cannot do it, get out. But just like you had said, they could have a conversation where, you know what, I love him enough to stay, where there are things, there are options now. There are ways where you can actually satisfy a woman without using the manhood. Yes, there are ways. Women get satisfied today.
Let me give you one story.
Yeah.
This is a story that someone shared of her personally. So she's a young girl, and in her own case, she's exploring before marriage. And she met, but before they got to the exploration stage, she was excited about this person she had met. He loves her, he cares for her. She says this is the best person she's ever dated ever in her young life. She's 26, 27, and he's asked her to marry him. And so they now progress in the relationship. And she realized while being intimate that the manhood is really small. So he does not really do what's meant to do, but he's treating her. So whatever else he needs to do for her satisfaction, he is doing it. And she's asking, should I leave? Everyone is saying, if you know that it's such a big deal for you, you can leave. But this is someone that is willing to make you happy. It is possible. I'm just saying it is possible to live with someone like that. He was created like that. There's no deception, and there are different ways to handle it. There are some people who have been married, and after a while find out that it's not working anymore. They find ways to do it. There are men who have married women who they love, and in the course of the marriage find out that the womb is not working, and they've decided, I can have children, you cannot, but we'll adopt. We'll find other ways. So I'm just saying, we seem to be a bit harder on men for that part of their bodies when there are different ways that they can work.
Hey!
Right. Let me
Why are you screaming?
I'm just screaming because I can't believe my ears this morning.
Wait, pause. Let me check how they're doing. Good morning, how they doing? You're live. Thanks for calling.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, my name is Joey Mariah.
Joey, good morning. You're live. Go ahead, please.
I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I just want to say something. Growing up, my father was an elder in church, and I think they took us through the scripture. I keep telling people that it's better you know God for yourself. You understand? In this matter, there's no marriage at all. There's no marriage at all because there's nothing like it's based on deception. It should be on agreement. The Bible says, can two work together unless they agree? Unless they agree. So you must tell me whether you don't have room anymore. There was one that happened here in Abuja, in Central Parish. There was no room. The man's manhood wasn't working. So I think when it goes to the authority, they have to tell them that there's no marriage at all. There's no marriage because everything is based on deception. Why didn't you tell me at first that this is the situation? So if I'm willing to go with you, fine. And I think somebody was saying that we can satisfy you in so many other ways. This is a life matter. You live with it for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Thank you very much, boy. So, I still insist that, listen, I think God does things in different ways. We never know.
I'm not
we are not, God has different ways of doing things.
I am not in God's
So
mind.
what I'm saying is that we see it one way. Father, mother, have children. And God can say, you know what, I brought you guys together because I decided to birth the nation through you via somebody else where both of you have the mental capacity to raise for me.
Yeah,
so there are different ways. We shouldn't judge.
So in that kind of pairing, God will pay. I've heard women who don't like the D thing, right? God will pair you with a woman like that. God will not pair you with a woman who the D thing is her life, or that she would love it and allow her suffer through because he wants his plan. God is not unrighteous. And for some people, if it's not vitamin D, it can never be like vitamin D. And that's why you must be upfront and, you know,
She was a virgin.
No, hold on.
Doesn't know vitamin D.
No, listen.
Doesn't know what it looks like.
But she's shouting.
So she doesn't know the difference.
And see, for somebody to come out and be shouting about this situation, it's because she doesn't want it. You should understand that. Some people have been in this situation. They didn't say anything. Okay, this is what God has given to me. And they move on and they find their ways. You won't hear anything. But once you come and start asking for advice, it's because you don't want it. So you're looking for excuses to stay there so that it will be that people advised me, my mother said, my auntie said. That's why you're crying for help. She's crying for help. She definitely wants vitamin D. She may have been fantasizing all her life that finally I will marry. And I will get it. Only for you to get there, nothing is visible. Chukwaju. So the thing is,
whatever that means.
God forbid.
Okay.
The thing is, say it as it is. Those people who do not have the natural tendencies to go there can say, okay, this is not really a big deal for me. I'm not so much of this kind of, we will work it out. We will do things.
See, you and
we'll
I,
do that.
You and I have also accepted technology. We use I don't have to be calling you in VI and say I'm walking on the way to your house because I have a phone to call you. Let's adopt and embrace technology. Technology has provided options for women.
But you will not creep up on me
I think we're all right.
Yeah, you
we're
won't
all
creep
right
up on me.
because we're talking about choice here.
Choice. You won't
Giving
creep up on
someone
me.
the option
To choose.
if they want to go ahead with it.
So
But also, yes,
Can
so,
never be
that was one conversation. But also there's a conversation of maybe there are some men who may be formed that way from birth. Or as she said, she called it a handicap. And they're willing to get married. They're willing to start a family, but they recognize they may not be able to have biological children of their own. Does that mean close shop, never get married?
No.
If they are willing to discuss with another woman who is willing to go through that. So it's a situation that
it goes back to what you said earlier, where everything in Nigeria is just hush-hush. We don't open it up. We don't say it.
Don't share.
You just marry her. Don't worry. She'll find out when you're on the wedding day. But you need to talk about these things. But we'll not discuss the role of the church, the role of family.
Okay.
You know, because these are institutions that kind of help to guide society, our morals and values and all that. And the church is saying, God hates divorce. You've already entered it. So you have to find a way to solve this problem. So this your desire that you're looking for Mr. D. Maybe this is how God orchestrated for you to be.
Wow.
So this is where
That's how they are told in church. That's how we are taught in church. That's how we are taught in church. That God doesn't allow something that, how do they say it now? God will never allow.
God will not trick me. But this is trickery.
Give you something too much for you to handle.
No, God did not give me. God not lied to me. That's what people are telling me, that this your God now is not a liar. No. Come out and say it. If I can, I cannot. If she can, she cannot. We decide. You will definitely see if God has made it that way for his purpose and his plan in your life, right? She's been in your life. He will definitely give you somebody that can carry that cross. It's not my cross to carry.
What if he gives you the temperament or the personality to carry it?
I don't have
You know, what is, see, the thing is, it's not that God lied to you, because sometimes things happen even in the course of something, in the course of life. So it started off well, and then you find yourself in a situation. It's not that God has lied to you. It's just that life has happened. So do you have the temperament, the personality, the patience to walk through it? And God has already given us whatever it is that we need to work with going forward. It's okay to look beyond. I feel that sometimes when we are handling issues, we just look at it black or white. It's okay to open our minds up and see what the other possibilities are. These people were created by God.
So
people who cannot. There are women who would never be able to have children. They were created by God, and they desire to be married. They desire to have intimacy. They desire to have children. And thank God for science and technology. Some are able to even have biological children that is carried by a surrogate. Some are not able to, but they're able to adopt. So when we're having this conversation, just to broaden our minds, when we find someone,
to broaden our minds,
the only thing is that is lacking, but is able to do everything
because
else.
The man might actually have the sperm thing inside.
No, I don't think.
And remove it.
So sweetheart, I don't think having children through adoption and all of that is the big issue. I don't think that's it. If something is working and we cannot walk to the point of getting children, we can always adopt.
If it's not
the way I am now, I can adopt. I feel like adopting a child. Okay? So I don't think, but you need to understand that even the God that is creating these issues created us in our different personalities. What I would not want is forcing something on someone who has who does not have the capacity to handle it in
All
the name of
things
God
work
said.
together for good to them.
Understand? That's
All
why,
things work
why are you
together
not
for
a
good.
medical doctor now? Why?
She's not.
Why?
I didn't study for it.
Because you don't have the capacity to handle
I
it.
could have, if I had studied, I would have had the capacity.
But you did not study, right?
Uh-huh.
Good. Nobody will take you to the hospital and force you to carry out an operation because God has given you everything pertaining to life and godliness. There are people who can. There are people who cannot. Let's respect the two angles. Some people, that vitamin D is the most important part. You see all those other issues, we can handle it. But you see this one, once I get this right, every other thing is sorted. You don't put that kind of woman in this place and you are preaching
People
God.
say they are now,
That's wickedness.
People say that there are robbers that actually feel like the real thing. I've never
Some
tried
people
it.
don't like rubber.
Well, I mean,
I hope you know.
People say that.
Some people like rubber in addition to what is. And I like where you're going to. What if it happens in the course of marriage, in life? I've enjoyed the sweetness of my youth.
This girl is a virgin.
I'm just telling you. I'm answering her question.
Okay.
If it happens in the course of the marriage, whatever life throws at us, I am with this guy.
Yeah.
We are going to walk through it. But not at the beginning where I've not even seen life.
What if it happened during the relationship before you get married?
I will waka.
So
I've never married.
That means you didn't love him.
Yes.
You don't love him. That means you don't love him
They
enough.
will not concern me.
They were dating for a while and then an accident happens. A person is
See
paralyzed.
your problem.
Accident is
Your
different.
problem.
No,
Your problem.
cancer happens.
Your
You
problem.
walk away.
No, overdose of D, they shock you. That's your problem. In fact, you've overdosed. That's your problem. You have too much of it. We need to start giving you some
Some injection to bring it down.
That's your problem. Let's take a few comments on social media as we wrap up. Any comments on social? But I mean,
Very important. That's Corey Michael says vitamin D cures frustration in women. Your mind go calm down. I agree with you, my brother. Okay, somebody says one cold beer for BC. Atinu Shola Yani says, Mariam, God did not create any woman to be barren. No. I don't know.
all right, that's all we
Them-
can
okay.
take. I think we can wrap up on this, but really, in a nutshell, it's deception. I mean, no matter how we take this conversation left, right, and center, and I think the law also recognizes that in that kind of situation, you can actually dissolve the marriage. There's really no conversation.
Yeah.
You must be truthful. You must bring the truth to the table before both of you now decide to come together. Once you don't give that information, and then we find out there's no marriage. And I think families should stop worrying about their name, our reputation, your position, and focus on the joy and happiness of their children. Same thing goes to the church. You know, it's all about, yes, we know God hates divorce, but God does not hate the divorced. He's still there. He's still his children.
Yep.
So the truth is that there's still some kind of love that we can find for these people. So let us understand that when you enter any kind of union with deception, that union cannot hold. That's all we can take on this week.
Yes.
Next week is our Your View 10th year celebration. We're pretty excited. Have a fabulous weekend. Bye for now.
We'll see you Monday.